News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Karen, we begin with the latest on efforts to end the war with Iran. Both the U.S. and Iran remain far apart on a deal to resolve their conflict and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And now President Trump is warning the clock is ticking. He wrote that in a social media post, telling Iran, quote, they better get moving fast or there won't be anything left of them. We get more from Bloomberg Middle East correspondent Jumana Bersecci.
It's a bit of a difference in sentiment from where we were a week ago when we thought maybe there'd be a diplomatic breakthrough after the Trump-Xi summit, that China would somehow, push diplomatically to get through to the Iranian side and get them to make some concessions. It hasn't been the case. And what we've woken up to this morning is more true social threats from President Trump, saying that the clock is ticking. He wants the Iranian side to sign up to the peace deal. Iranian media, on their part, saying that what the U.S. are asking for is too maximalist, that the U.S. have not made enough concessions, and what they're demanding are things that Iran simply cannot concede to.
Bloomberg's Jumana Bersecci reporting. Meantime, a drone attack over the weekend sparked a fire at a nuclear plant in the United Arab Emirates. The UAE says it intercepted two other drones launched from west of the country.
Nathan, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is calling on the G7 nations and others to increase sanctions on Iran. Bessent is in Paris for a meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors from the group of 7 nations. He's wrapping up an international trip that saw stops in Japan, South Korea, and China.
And we're getting more details, Karen, about what came out of President Trump's Beijing summit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The White House says China agreed to buy at least $17 billion of agricultural goods per year through 2028 and to set up boards of trade and investment with the U.S. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer discussed the agreements on CBS's Face of the Nation.
Board of Investment is really about discussing key issues in U.S.-China investment policy. It's not really an investment program, but it's to try to almost be like a firefighter and put out issues when they arise between the two countries.
Again, U.S. Trade Rep Jamieson Greer. Bloomberg's Stephen Engel reports from Beijing that the details on China's ag purchases still have to be worked out.
We do know that China has approved the licensing process for beef to be allowed back into China after a 14-month pause. We're hearing corn possibly. Another big crop is sorghum. Cotton is another one. So we'll have to see where that $17 billion comes.
Still, Bloomberg's Stephen Engel reports the commitment brings China's ag purchases back to where they were in the trade deal during President Trump's first term. He spoke on Bloomberg this weekend, heard 7 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays on Bloomberg Radio, Bloomberg Television, and the Bloomberg Business app.
Well, Nathan, back here at home, thousands of New Yorkers will have to find another way to get to work this morning, and that's because there's a strike at the nation's largest commuter railroad. We get the latest with Bloomberg's John Tucker in New York.
It's the first weekday of the strike that is up to 300,000 commuters looking for another way to get to work. And it's not just the striking rail workers who are making their voices heard.
I pay $394 a month. It better be a seamless transaction for me to receive a refund.
The LIRR operates 24/7, serves 126 stations across more than 300 route miles on 700 miles of track. Governor Kathy Hochul.
The railroad is the lifeblood of Long Island. Without it, life as we know it is simply not possible.
Well, the MTA, which runs New York City's subways, buses, and commuter rail lines, is advising people to work from home if possible. 275 free shuttle buses across 6 Long Island locations are shuttling essential workers to subway stations in Queens. If you have deeper pockets, Blade is offering $95 one-way helicopter rides. For those driving, calls to suspend New York's congestion pricing, they went nowhere. With the union seeking a 5% raise this year, the MTA on Friday offered nearly 4.5%. Negotiations between the unions and the MTA restarted yesterday. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
John, thanks. Let's turn to politics now. Attention turns to tomorrow's Kentucky primary. That's after Senator Bill Cassidy was decisively defeated in the Republican primary in Louisiana over the weekend. President Trump campaigned against Cassidy after he voted to convict the president during an impeachment trial over the attack on the Capitol. Now the president's focused on getting Congressman Thomas Massie booted in Kentucky. Massie spoke on ABC's This Week.
I think that's going to help my fundraising at thomasmassie.com. Every time he tweets about me, it's good for, some money coming in because people don't like that.
Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie again on ABC's This Week, heard Sundays on Bloomberg Radio. Massie has angered the president by voting against his signature tax legislation, pushing for the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and opposing the president's decision to go to war with Iran.
Nathan, tomorrow also brings us primary elections in Alabama, Idaho, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Georgia's primary will provide an early read on key dynamics shaping the 2026 cycle, with both the governor's race and a messy Republican Senate contest in focus. And there to cover it all, Bloomberg Balance of Power. Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lyons are live in Atlanta breaking down the races. You can catch them at noon Wall Street time on Bloomberg Radio, Bloomberg Television, and the Bloomberg Business app.
Turning to sports now, Karen, because history has been made at the PGA Championship, and Bloomberg's John Stashower is here to tell us more. John.
Nathan, in England, they've been waiting since 1919 for a PGA champion. An unlikely winner sealed his victory on the next to last hole,
where Aaron Rai has just hit a beautiful birdie putt on 17. He drains it from 50 feet. Aaron Rai is unstoppable at Aronimink. He is 9 under par.
Westwood won the call. Was heard here on Bloomberg Radio. The 31-year-old Rai had only won one tournament before, had never finished in the top 15 of a major. He pulled away on the back 9, won by 3 shots.
Thanks, John. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.